traditional unaffected, non-traditional affected, and non-traditional unaffected. Shifts will be explained in detail later on. A few things before proceeding. In the lower left-hand corner, there is a no video section. This should be used if there is a ball in play that you don't get to see. This should never happen if you're at a minor league game since you are physically at the park. However, from time to time, this will happen if you're watching a game on TV. It is important to note that you should only select this if you did not get to see the play at all, because your hit location, hit type, and hit velocity will not be recorded. Occasionally, you may find that you entered several things incorrectly on this screen. The most likely cause for that is that you entered the information for a wrong batter, but you noticed before going too far. To reset everything, we have a reset button. If you hit this button, you will be asked if that's really what you want to do. Say yes to that, and you'll now see that the runner's moving checkbox is unchecked, and the hit type and hit velocity have been reset. To remove the hit location, hit the Clear Hit Location button, and you'll see that the hit location has gone away. Once you're satisfied with everything on this screen, you'll need to put the batter either on base or out, depending on whether he reached base or not. If the batter was on base, hit on base. Once you've put the batter on base, you'll need to select how he reached base. Click the drop down by the batter. There are now 13 options for how the batter reached base: single, double, triple, home run, inside the park home run, fielder's choice, error, sacrifice plus error, fielder's choice plus error, ground rule double, catcher interference, sacrifice plus fielder's choice, and fielder's choice grounded into double play. Note that fielder's choice grounded into double play is inactive here because there needs to be at least 2 runners on base for that to be possible. Also note the shortcuts. It might be helpful to memorize the ones that come up most often, such as single, double, triple, home run, and fielder's choice. If the batter is out, you'll want to hit the out button on this screen. Now, you'll see the same screen as before when we put the batter on base. However, in the drop down, there are now 13 options which correspond to out types as opposed to on base types. Those are ground out, fly out, line out, foul fly out, infield fly rule, grounded into double play, grounded into non-force double play, sac fly, sac bunt, grounded into triple play, and batter interference. As was the case with the various on-base options, there are some options under out that are inactive. Obviously, there can't be a triple play with only 1 runner on base, hence you won't be able to choose either of those options. Also, you'll see that double play is inactive. While there is 1 runner on base and a double play is theoretically possible. The reason is that we thought we might want to use this option when we wrote the software, but in the end we decided against it. It turns out to be far easier to disable an option than to remove that one and have to change the numbers for various other options. Also, you might want to get acquainted with the shortcuts, particularly the ones of the most common options chosen. Those would be ground out, fly out, line out, foul fly out, and grounded into double play. Ball and play hit types and velocities are very important to us. Please consult the handbook for an explanation on determining hit types, as well as a guideline for determining velocities. Now, let's look at a few video clips so that you can see some examples of the various hit types and velocities.
Berkman hits it on the ground to Zobrist. Bartlett 1, first base 2, they got Weber scores. Teixeira stops at third. And now he puts the bunt down, first base side, and he does it successfully. Line drive going to be over the head of Bartlett, over the shift this time. And a liner into right field, got some sink on it. That's good. Back into center field, upped it to its right. Not a great read and makes the catch.
There's a changeup, split.
And a high fly ball, hit deep to right. Curtis back.
Please consult the handbook for a guide on marking hit locations. In particular, you should pay close attention to the distinction made in marking hit locations for balls hit on the ground as opposed to balls hit in the air. Here is a sample deflection. The hit location will be plotted where the ball deflects off the pitcher, and the scoring will be a single deflected by the pitcher and fielded by the first baseman.
Escobar up the middle. That hit Brian Mattis. It'll go to first base. Snyder will try and tag him and didn't get him.
Here is a sample video clip with scoring for when the batter reaches base.
He wants to go back to that slider slash cutter.
And a base hit into center field. Rays pick up their first hit.
Longoria put the ball into play, so you're going to want to select in play. This can be done by either clicking the button or hitting the 8 key as a shortcut. Here, I click the button and my field diagram comes up. Now I need to plot my hit location and enter the hit type and velocity. First, the hit location. The ball was hit into shallow center field right about here, so I'll click this spot. Now for the velocity, I'll call this soft, and for the hit type, I'll say fliner liner. There was no shift and there were no runners moving as no one was on base. Everything looks good here, so I'm ready to proceed. Longoria reached base, so I select on base. Now I need to select how Longoria reached base in the drop down. He singled, so I'll find single in the drop down and choose it. Once you're satisfied with everything here, you can hit next to proceed. On this screen, I entered the fielder who picked up Longoria's single. That was a center fielder, so I can either click the center fielder or hit the 8 key on the number pad. Once the selection is made, hit next. Once everything else is done, you'll get a final confirmation screen. This is where you'd enter anything else that occurred, such as a subsequent advance or out, a good fielding play, or a wall ball. Most of the time, you'll have nothing else to record once you get to this screen, and if that's the case, you select No More Events. Conveniently, this option is the default, so if you have no more events, you can just hit the Enter key to proceed to the next batter. As we did previously, let's look at a sample clip with scoring, this time for when a batter is out.
And it's lifted into short left center. Kearns has time to get over there.
Jaso put the ball in play, so we need to select the in play option. I'll do that by using the shortcut, and now the field diagram comes up. Next, we mark the hit location. The ball was hit into medium left center, right around here, so I'll click this spot. For velocity, it was medium, and the hit type was a fliner fly. There was no shift or runners moving, so I'm done with this screen. Jaso was out, so I'll click out to to proceed. In the drop-down, I'll select how JSO is out. He flew out, so I'll choose the second option, fly/pop out. After that's taken care of, hit next. Now we enter the fielders involved in the play. This was a fly out to the left fielder, so I'll select the left fielder either by clicking on him or using 7 as a shortcut. Here I use the shortcut. All looks good, so we hit next. Lastly, we see the final confirmation screen. There's nothing else to record here, so I'll hit the enter key to select no more events and advance to the next at bat. Most of the time, runner advancement is very straightforward. For example, with a runner on first, let's say the batter singles on a medium grounder to the right fielder, advancing the runner from first to third. Since there's a ball in play, we select in play. Now we plot our hit location and enter the hit type and velocity. Let's say the hit location was right around here, and since we said it was a medium grounder, we make those choices for the velocity and the hit type. No shift was involved and the runner wasn't moving, so all looks good, and we make our selection. Here the batter reached base, so we hit on base. We established that the batter singled, so we make that selection in the drop down under the batter. The default is to advance the runner the same number of bases as the batter, so that's why the software has the runner on first advancing to second. However, we said that the runner went first to third. This can be changed by clicking the drop down underneath the runner and making the appropriate choice, advance to third. We're all set here now, so we hit next. Finally, we said that the right fielder fielded the hit, so we make that selection and hit next. There were no more events, so we can just hit enter to choose that, and we're done. Other times, runners will need to be advanced or called out manually. Most of the time, these plays will occur directly after a pitch is made. Any play that occurs simultaneously with the pitch is what we call a dependent event, because the event is reliant on the pitch being made. To enter a dependent event, the box in front of dependent event must be checked. You can do this either by clicking the box or by using the plus sign as a shortcut for this. Let's say there was a ball where there was a dependent event. We'll select dependent event and then choose ball taken. As you can see, a screen for pitch-dependent events pops up. Most of these should be pretty self-explanatory. There are check boxes next to catcher block and runners in motion. This means that you can select one or both of these while also selecting one of the other options. If you only need to pick one of the options with the checkbox, make your selection and then click No More Events. For instance, if there's runners in motion but nothing else, you'd check the runners in motion box and then choose No More Events. This will often be the case when there's a foul with a runner going. Now, let's quickly go over all of these options. Wild pitch gets used when there's a wild pitch charged to the pitcher, while passed ball is used when the catcher gets a passed ball. This includes drop third strikes that result in a wild pitch or passed ball. Stolen base attempt is used whenever a runner tries to steal a base. Drop third strike gets selected when there's a dropped third strike that is neither a wild pitch or passed ball. Most of the time, this will be when the catcher recovers in time to throw the batter out at first, but it will also be used when there is an error that allows the batter to reach, or if the batter reaches on a fielder's choice because the catcher makes a play on another runner. Pickoff attempt catcher is used when the catcher tries to pick